Louisville, home of the best scrapper, also home of the best rapper. Flow dapper, here's another chapter. Ride through, attack you, ride away your laughter. This is what I'm after, blowing on that rapper. Purple Dro, keep a bunch to blow. I don't serve it though, murder flow. If it goes down, I'm the first to know. Y'all niggas late, like the Conan show. Overdose, overload, sharp flow, leave him with the open throat. Lewis Keys, cool as Nova Scotia snow. Puff a blunt, poke a hole, nigga, you supposed to know. Lewis Keys, blowing blunts on the open road. Fuck a cop, fuck a speed limit, drive overdose. Keep a bad bitch, hips wide like Oprah's nose. And you know that I'm a fool, my freestyle's wet, I'm floating in the pool. You should pay your tuition, you're going to my school. Principal keys, you niggas getting held back. Fuck them little sacks, you can have your bread back. No refund, well here the G's come. Hit your ass up, leave you with your fucking head crack.
Louisville, Kentucky, 502. Louisville, Kentucky, 502. Louisville, Kentucky, 502. Louisville, Kentucky, 502. Louisville, Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky, 502. Louisville, Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky, 502.
Louisville, Kentucky, 502. That's where I'm from, player, how about you? I'm from the city where the hate is familiar. I'm from the city where the haters will kill ya. I'm from the city where they like to gamble. Dice game, get robbed, niggas to scramble. Head for the hills, nigga duck and dive. No bullshit, no shuck and jive. I know a lot of guys got shot and died. A lot of good guys didn't see 25. Recognize it's a blessing being alive. Heading to the park, I'm on the passenger side. Like
Louisville, Kentucky, 502. Louisville, Kentucky, 502.
Every night's game center. We ballin' like the playoff. We ballin' like the playoff.
Yo, what's good? What's cracking? Everybody been? We back for another one. A lot of news going on right now surrounding Manny Pacquiao. What happened, man? What happened to the fight of the century, man? I don't know, man. Let me make sure everything's working here. Make sure everything's on. Make sure we not echoing again. Whoever's in here, man, go ahead and Pacquiao that like button for me, man. It's been a while. Glad to be back. It's been a while. But big news going on right now, man. Want to chime in, just give my little 2 cents on what could possibly be going on. What happened to the Crawford fight? Who is next? You know, is Mikey Garcia actually next, man? I kind of disappointed, bro, for real. I wasn't expecting, this kind of came out of nowhere. I took a little time off. Was expecting to come back and have some big news for everybody about the Crawford fight, but then all this news started breaking, and everybody's saying it's official, but I've been looking around to see if it's really official yet, but it says they're in heavy negotiations. I won't say it's official, but heavy negotiations going on with Mikey Garcia, man. Whoever's in here right now, man, go ahead, hit the like button for me. Drop me a comment. Let me know who we got in here. Try to give a few minutes. Bad Tito, what's up, Red? Turn up your mic, bro. Okay, I cut it up a little bit. I don't want it to start echoing. But I will cut it up just a tad bit for you guys. So is that a little bit better? Hold on, I'm pushing it a little bit right there. All right, that should be a little better right there. Let me check and see. Okay, it should be cool. It should be cool where we was at. It should have been cool where we was at. But anyway, what's good with you, Tito, man? What's good with everybody who's in here right now, man? Pacquiao that like button for me. Go ahead and get started, man. Let y'all know what's going on. So, I was going through some articles, man. Was gonna drop in a couple of days ago, but just got busy real fast, man. Had to take care of some stuff, so got all that stuff taken care of. Now I'm back. So we can talk some Pacquiao talk. What's going on? What happened to the Crawford fight? You know, who's he fighting next? Is it going to be this Mikey fight, which I really don't like. I don't support. But if it's the fight that's going to happen, hey, I can't stop it from happening. What happened to the $50 million fight, man? What happened to the fight of the century? Got a few articles, man. Appreciate that like right there, bro. Whoever hit that like button, man, I appreciate that. Got a few articles I wanted to touch on, man. I give it a couple more minutes, see if anybody else checks in. But definitely some disappointing news when it comes to this whole Mikey Garcia talk. But it's crazy because a lot of people have been saying this for a while. Like Mikey Garcia is going to be the next fight. Mikey Garcia, I believe Caps and Full G was saying that Mikey's going to should be the next fight. I've heard other channels. I don't know if people watch the Paul Way podcast, but he's been talking about this fight, this Mikey Garcia fight for a while. I'm just gonna give credit where credit's due. You know, if it's not official yet, but if it's the fight that's gonna happen, these are the people who were pushing for that fight, who were saying that fight was going down. Me personally, I was swinging for the Crawford fight. I was hoping for the Crawford fight, but it's looking like. At the moment, I ain't gonna say it's official once again, but at the moment it's looking like it's gonna be Taco Garcia that snuck in, snatched the Mr. Trent. What's up, BR3? Seattle, what's up? What's cracking, BR3, man? Appreciate you for tapping in. Maybe tune up for Bud. You know, but why though? If the money's there, why even take a tune up? If the money's already there, I'm not really understanding why, you know, he's skipping over Crawford to go to, you know, it's not official, but, you know, it's just like when the Ryan Garcia talks came up, you know, is it more of Mikey Garcia pushing the conversation onto Pacquiao, or is it Pacquiao actually having a narrative or a back and forth with Mikey Garcia's team? No, I really don't know the answer to that question, but a lot of people are saying this is in real heavy negotiation. So, but I'm like, man, is it more of Mikey Garcia just pushing trying to push the fight on to Pacquiao? But there's some articles I want to touch on. Is Manny Pacquiao circling back to Mikey Garcia as next foe? And this comes from MSN.com. Manny Pacquiao might be circling back to the matchup many believe makes most sense for him from a competitive standpoint. I don't see this fight being all that competitive, to be completely honest with you, man. I don't think Mikey Garcia is on that level yet as a welterweight. I think he's on his way to being on that level as a welterweight, but I just don't think he's there yet. And you know, the Earl Spence fight should have shown everybody that he's not on that level. Yeah, he did beat Jesse Vargas, who Manny Pacquiao also beat. I believe Pacquiao fought Vargas too. But you know, I just don't feel like he's on the level to be trying to fight Manny Pacquiao at this point. But it says the 42-year-old Filipino icon coming off a decision over Keith Thurman in July 2019 was negotiating to face star McGregor, but the fight fell apart after McGregor's loss in the octagon. Then there was talk he might meet lightweight Ryan Garcia, but that never materialized. Now he seems to be refocused on an earlier candidate, Mikey Garcia. Garcia told television interviewer Joe Ochner in an informal interview after the Canelo Alvarez fight Saturday that he and Pacquiao are near a deal to fight in May, although neither Pacquiao nor a credible representative has confirmed Garcia's comments. So, like I said, I don't know if this is actually gonna go down, or is this just Mikey Garcia trying to talk the fight up? Because if you remember, about a week ago, he was feeling kind of shaded because they were leaving him out of the conversation, and he didn't understand why Ryan Garcia was getting talks, but he wasn't getting talks. So, this could be just, Mikey Garcia throwing his hat in the ring and, trying to make it public, trying to put his name out there in the public for Pacquiao to notice him, just in case the Crawford negotiations fall apart. Now, the Crawford negotiations might have already fell apart. Remember, Bob Arum promised us that we were going to get a decision by the end of last week, and now he done gone quiet. So I'm like, what's really going on here? Were they negotiating in the first place, or was this all a farce? I don't think it was a farce, because he actually came out and said he was going to have something for us to, but he hasn't said a word. He's quiet as a church mouse. But let's move on. We're finalizing all the details. Garcia told Ackner, we hope to get the exact date and location in the next few days. We're trying to get everything done for May. It's been in the works for a long time, particularly more in detail in the last year. Now, in the last few weeks, we've been getting very close to working on this and finalizing it. I'm pretty excited. We'll have all of the details set in the next few days. Wow. So, but you know what's crazy? Ryan Garcia said the exact same thing. Like, it's all set in stone. Details are going to emerge in the next few days. And then we got the cease and desist order from Paradigm. So it'll be interesting what's going to happen over the next few days, according to Mikey Garcia. When did this article come out? This is a brand new article. It came out 6 hours ago. So maybe by the end of the week, we'll know if this fight's actually going to happen. Is it actually going to happen? It could. Anything's possible at this point. I think it's crazy. All these fights are coming up now that nobody was talking about this stuff. Why wasn't he talking about this like 2 months ago? I don't get it. Bad Tito. I think they opened up negotiations with Mikey to make Bob desperate to close the deal. Because if he don't close the deal, Bud gonna leave him for sure. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens off the back of this if they don't secure this fight. I mean, I don't see where Terence Crawford. I mean, he could still fight Sean Porter, but if he loses to Porter, it would be detrimental. It would be devastating to his career, because he could have took the Pacquiao fight, and what if he beat Pacquiao? So, I mean, you could be right about that, Bad Tito. It does put a lot of pressure on Bob to just come out and say something. I mean, where is he trying to go with this? Is he actually negotiating with Pacquiao, or has he just given up? NL says, yo, NL in the house. Hello, everyone. What's good with you, NL? Appreciate you for stopping through, man. We got 9 people in the room right now. Everybody, Pacquiao that like button for me, man. Let me know y'all in here. Drop me a comment. It's gonna be real interesting over the. I guess we just gotta wait for a couple of days to see what's gonna materialize. According to Mikey Garcia, it's a done deal. But we've heard this before. We heard that with Ryan Garcia. We heard it with McGregor. We heard it with Terence Crawford and Bob Arum. But I think a lot of people are interested in fighting Pacquiao, but it's all up to Pacquiao at this point and where his dollar signs are sitting at. What's the most lucrative and what fight makes the most sense at this point. All good. Chill. All good from Chill. And I appreciate you for stopping through. It's a new one on me, man. I'm not used to seeing that NL tag, so man, I appreciate you for coming through. I really wanna I was really wanting to see this Crawford fight, man. You know, I really want to see Pacquiao do something for his legacy and not just another Pacquiao fight. But, you know, if these guys are not willing to come to the table, and it's going to really look bad on Terence Crawford's part if he turns down that $10 million, I don't see it. Why Mikey Garcia, though, man? Out of all the people, why Mikey Garcia? Only reason I can see him picking Mikey Garcia is if he's going to get that super title back, or if they're making, like, Mikey Garcia some type of mandatory for him to get that super title back. That's the only reason I can see for him picking Mikey. But other than that, why not just go fight Yordanius you guys if you can't fight Mike? If you can't get the Crawford fight, you can fight you guys. You can fight Porter. You can fight even Danny would be a better fight to me than Mikey Garcia. I don't understand why Mikey Garcia. Virgil Andreas says, I thought Manny's handler is the one in charge of announcing the fight, not anybody else. I mean, you're right about that. Nothing's official. Nobody's saying this is official. I'm just opening up the conversation and wondering where this talk even came from, man. Like, you know, once again, it could just possibly be that Mikey Garcia is just trying to throw his name in the hat, just similar to what Ryan Garcia was doing. Ryan Garcia was just trying to put it out there, I guess, to have the fight happen. It was never, according to what everybody's saying, in negotiations. There was nothing really solid on the table for that fight. So this might just be Mikey Garcia's attempt of saying, hey, Pacquiao noticed me, you know, I'm out here, I'm willing to fight you. If those guys don't come to the table, you know, so no telling what's going on. NL says, I think Pac-Man will prove himself. I think Mikey is the warm-up fight. I mean, why warm up, though? If you could get... And if you're going to do a warm-up, why not go after that super title? I think that's a better warm-up than Mikey Garcia. If we're going based off of, you know, a good tune-up fight, Mikey would be a good tune-up fight, but it doesn't make sense because he doesn't do anything similar to Crawford or Spence. So that fight's never really made any sense to me, other than, you know, it's just a fight that can be made easily. Other than that, I think it's just a fight, you know, that can be made easily. But Mikey Garcia's not gonna want a lot of money for that fight. It's more just for exposure for him. Would he bring? I think he would bring the fight to Pacquiao, but it's. I mean, it's kind of almost like another Jesse Vargas fight or a Adrian Broner almost like him fighting Broner again. You know, he has a similar style to. Not that his defense is like Broner's, but I just feel like they're on the same level. You know, I feel like Mikey Garcia and Adrian Broner would make a good fight, but Mikey Garcia and Manny Pacquiao, it doesn't make sense. And if you're using it as a tune-up for Crawford or Earl Spence, I mean, Mikey Garcia does nothing similar to either one of those guys. Bad Tito, no legacy with Mikey. I gotta agree with that, man. It doesn't make sense from that standpoint. If you was talking legacy fights, how does Mikey Garcia fit into as a legacy fight? I just don't get it. You know, maybe, you know, this is all up to Manny Pacquiao. He is dictating what's going on, and he might be going in a direction similar to what Floyd Mayweather went in when he fought Andre Berto, and then he fought, you know, he got big money for that fight, and then he fought who did he fight after Berto? Was it Khabib after Berto? I believe it was Khabib. He fought Khabib after Berto and got some good money for that. So we could possibly see Pacquiao fight Garcia, you know, get an easy win, and then go fight an MMA fighter. I mean, it's possible that he could still do that. Does anybody want to watch that? I don't think so. You know, is it going to get a lot of fanfare? I really doubt it. I don't think anybody wants to see Pacquiao fight Mikey Garcia. and would be willing to pay big money for pay-per-view. Me personally, I don't want to see. I'll watch it just because it's Pacquiao, but I don't want to see. I don't really care, but I wouldn't pay for it. If you ask me if I'd pay for it, heck no, I wouldn't pay for it. I think after Mikey, it will be Spence or Bud. But why not now? I don't understand. With so much money being tossed around and such big dollar signs being tossed around, why would they wait? It's got to be a reason why they're waiting to make that fight happen, because they're already starting to open states back up. I just saw within the past few hours that some states are opening back up and you don't even have to wear a mask anymore. So I don't understand why they would pass on this opportunity. If they're gonna open things completely back up, you would think that $50 million is really possible. It goes back to what Bad Tito said. This might be, Pacquiao's way of negotiating Bob Arum into coming out and just accepting something, maybe even a smaller portion of what they offered. So if they don't want to do the $50 million deal, maybe they can get it down to 30 or 40 million, with Pacquiao getting 20 million and Crawford getting like 7 or 8 million. So that's very possible. I don't understand why they would wait, though. That's my only thing. I don't get why they would wait, because if this fight doesn't happen now, it's never going to happen. Either way, even if it's Crawford, even if it's Spence, if it doesn't happen now, I don't see it happening in the future. Pacquiao's only going to get older. There's other stuff could possibly pop up in the Philippines. There's no telling. If it's on the table now, why not take it right now? It benefits both of those guys. One guy's name's gonna go, back into the Pacquiao could go back into the stratosphere if he beats Crawford. And if he loses, then Crawford gets launched into the stratosphere. So it makes sense for both guys' careers. I don't see why they wouldn't make it happen now at the opportune time. Boral the Gore says, that's not happening. That's Ryan Garcia version 2. The negotiation that's really happening was on Spence, maybe an offer lower to Pacquiao, so Pac-Man doing something bigger, payday for Bud. I kind of feel the same way. Like maybe this is some. I kind of feel like it's just Mikey Garcia's way of throwing his name in there and getting his name out there, and getting some recognition off the back of Pacquiao. Ryan Garcia got a lot of recognition, got his name out there just by saying he's negotiating with Pacquiao. It didn't have to be actually real. Just saying he was negotiating with Pacquiao, it made him even more famous than he already was. So it could possibly be just that similar, to what Brian Garcia was doing from Mikey Garcia. We don't know yet. Alvin, what's good with you, Alvin Vincent Alvarez? Do you agree Garcia boxing style is the same boxing style Marquez? I think his style's more like Brandon Rios than Marquez. Marquez has a lot of boxing skill. I think people don't give Marquez enough credit. Marquez has a lot of boxing skill. He does a lot of things right. He has a lot of speed too. I don't feel like Mikey Garcia has a lot of speed at 147. At least we didn't see it in the Spence fight or the Jesse Vargas fight. It didn't look like he had a lot of speed in either one of those fights. So not at 147. Maybe if he fought at 140 or 135, he's a lot quicker. But at 147, he didn't look like a very speedy fighter. Tito says, don't believe it till you heard from Pacquiao, Mikey clout chasing. A lot of people been clout chasing Pacquiao, man. I don't understand why people are trying to build their name like that, or even trying to backdoor their way into some type of fame off of Pacquiao's name, because it makes the whole Crawford fight and negotiation look bad with all these other guys coming out and saying that they're also negotiating with Pacquiao. Because it makes it seem like, okay, well, the Crawford negotiation isn't even it's not real at that point. So why bother with, paying attention to it when there are these other guys saying that they're negotiating with Pacquiao? So, and if it was a better fighter than Mikey Garcia, I would say, okay, well, it's possible, but Mikey Garcia just doesn't make a lot of sense. Casper 7, Bud is silent and all bark. He will make an excuse in ducking Pac-Man and fighting somebody's, especially those with debility. I don't know what you meant by that, but it's all weird, man. We got 17 people in here right now. Could y'all please Pacquiao the like button for me, man? Drop me a comment. Let me know who I got in here. Pacquiao that like button for me, man, so we can get shared out to more people and build up the conversation more. It's good seeing y'all, man. I took a little time off, but I'm back now, man. Trying to get this Pacquiao news out there. Do you agree Manny need Alex Ariza back in Manny team? The fact without Alex, Manny only have one knockout. I don't think that I don't think that was because of Alex Ariza. I think Manny Pacquiao was knocking a lot more people out. What's up, Holy Inferno? What's good with you, bro? Good to see you. I think Manny Pacquiao was knocking more people out with Alex Ariza because he was at a lower weight. And it just so happened when he moved up to 147, he got rid of Alex Ariza. And he went back to his original strength and conditioning coach, Justin Fortune. I think Justin Fortune is a better strength and conditioning coach, and he's less controversial than Alex Ariza. So I don't think he needs Ariza. I just think he was knocking more people out because he was at a lower weight. When he moved up, these guys can take a bigger punch, and I just feel like they can take a bigger punch at 147. But he's still hurting guys. He hurt Keith Thurman, one of the biggest welterweights out there. So he might not be able to knock these 147 guys completely out. Not all of them. A lot of them he probably could, but not all of them. But I just think at 147 they can take Pacquiao's power a little more than they could at 130 and 140. Don't forget about Bernard Hopkins. He was champion when he was almost 50. I don't think Manny's age matters. He's too good. I think Manny has a lot in the tank to fight the best. I agree with you, man. I just want to see him fight the best. I don't want to see him take these cupcake tune-up fights because they, I don't feel like Mikey Garcia is a bad fighter. I just think I don't think he can compete with Pacquiao, but it's still a dangerous fight. If Pacquiao loses to Mikey Garcia, it looks really bad if he loses to Garcia. So, not taking anything away from Mikey Garcia, but I just don't think that's the proper opponent for him that he should be going after. I agree with you, though. Bernard Hopkins proved a lot about, age really don't matter. It's more skill sets and how you use your skill sets. To win fights. Pacquiao proved he still got power. He still got speed. He can still beat top tier guys. He took out one of the best welterweights out there in Keith Thurman, who was considered at the time to be one of the top welterweights, top 3 welterweights. You can put him wherever you want to put him at. Some people had him at number 1, and Pacquiao took him out. So I think there's a lot on the line for Crawford. There's a lot on the line for Spence, for either one of those guys if they take Pacquiao on. Mikey Garcia really gains nothing or loses nothing. He gains a lot if he beats Pacquiao. But, Pacquiao stands to gain nothing from fighting Mikey Garcia. So I don't see why these talks are even... I don't see why his name's even been thrown in there. Holy Inferno says, facts. Fighting Mikey Garcia is just wasting time, to be honest. Completely agree with that. It's a complete waste of time if he does fight Mikey Garcia. I would watch it. I wouldn't buy it. I would stream it. Definitely wouldn't buy it. I would. But I don't see it being competitive, to be honest with you. If Keith Thurman couldn't give Manny Pacquiao a better fight, I don't see Mikey Garcia being able to give a better fight than Keith Thurman was able to give Manny Pacquiao. I don't understand this fight at all. Boar the Gore says, regarding to what I said, if they fail to negotiate to Bud, it could be Spence because it's Pac-Man chasing for legacy. Then the second fight, which is last fight, it's Conor McGregor for sure. I'm not sure about that McGregor fight, man. That the way Dustin Poirier did him, I just don't see McGregor giving Pacquiao much of a fight. Plus his leg looked really mangled after that fight. I would much rather see if McGregor can get back in the octagon and and do well, or even put up a fight, than try to get in the boxing ring with Manny Pacquiao. Unless it's going to be an exhibition. If it's an exhibition, I can see it happening. But he said he wanted to fight Pacquiao for a title belt. That's really not going to happen. First, last. LOL, if Manny doesn't fight, or Spence fight, I guess he meant if Manny doesn't fight Bud or Spence, then he clearly is a B word. Made like he always has proven. Bet Manny is fighting Mikey or you guys next. I've been saying you guys for a long time. I wouldn't be surprised if it was you guys. You guys fight makes sense because he would get the super title back. Mikey Garcia makes no sense because there's nothing to gain from the Mikey Garcia fight, at all. But saying you fought Mikey Garcia, and I mean, if he held a belt, it would be different. But he holds no belts. I don't think he's even the number one contender for Yordenis you guys' belt. Jamal James is the number one contender now for if they've officially given that super title to Yordenis you guys. That's not official yet because of the UGA or GBA in the Philippines trying to get that belt back for Pacquiao. So I'm not sure. That's the only reason I would think he would fight you guys. I mean, Mikey Garcia, is if they're waiting to see if he can get that belt back. That would make a little bit of sense. And instead of going to fighting Spence or Crawford, he could get the belt back. Which I don't see why he would do it like that. But hey, it's weird times we going through right there. It's hard to explain a lot of this stuff. First, last, man, you put cuss word in the chat, so I got that word blocked, so they wasn't gonna let your comment come through. But I still appreciate you for coming through and dropping that comment on me, bro. Virgil, he retracted his comment. Holy Inferno! But if Bud versus Crawford, fell through, I think Crawford ducked because that $50 million have nothing to do with Bob Arum, but investors. I think you meant it, but if Bud versus Pacquiao fall through, and I agree with that. It's got to be that Bob Arum and Terence Crawford just feel like the fight's too dangerous, and if they lose to Pacquiao, it's the end of their career. They not only do they lose the belts. And all the belts go to PBC, but they lost to the old Manny Pacquiao, and it would be hard for him to negotiate a good purse in his next fight if he decided to fight again, move over to PBC or retire. Nobody knows what his next move would be. So it would be. I agree with you, Inferno, that if they don't take if this falls through, they don't take that $50 million. Clearly that. I'm not gonna say ducking, but they feel like that's too dangerous of a fight at this point in Terence Crawford's career. Whether Earl Spence will step in at that point and say, "Hey, well, if that that $10 million, $40 million split is still on the table, if that's truly coming from an investor group, then why not, I step in and just take that fight. I always felt like if he didn't get the Crawford fight, then Errol Spence would be the fight that was going to happen, because he said that if he doesn't fight Crawford, he was only going after Spence. So I don't understand where this Mikey Garcia talk's even coming from, because he said it himself that, hey, if I don't get the Crawford fight, I'm going after Errol Spence. But it can still happen. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. It's weird, man, that all this is coming up at this point, especially after Bob Arum promised us a decision by the end of last week, which came and went. Bad Tito, I think it'll do good numbers on pay-per-view. Texas Stadium, Mexicans and worldwide PAC fans buy in. Me personally, I wouldn't buy this fight at all. At all. And I would purposely not buy it, and I hope a lot of people would purposely not buy it to show that we don't want these type of fights. Like he said earlier, it's a waste of time. It's really a waste of time. If either fight the best guys or step aside. I would have to agree with that. I don't want to see Pacquiao potentially get beat by a cupcake fighter. If he's going to go down to the best fighters. Don't go down to a cupcake. I don't understand the Mikey Garcia negotiation if it's real. I don't get how he steps in over Spence. I still don't understand how Crawford steps in over Spence and gets offered $10 million over Spence, who's right there with him. But, if that happens, it's going to be interesting. And if Mikey is truly the opponent, there's a reason for that. Either Pacquiao wants a tune-up and can't get the Yadanius you guys fight because they've already negotiated something with Spence, or, he's possibly negotiated something with Crawford, or there's something else going on behind the scenes to where they just don't want Pacquiao fighting Spence or Crawford. They don't want him to possibly beat either one of those guys, so they're going to freeze him out of any titles. I don't understand why he would go after Mikey Garcia and not Yadanius you guys, because at least Yadanius you guys has the belt. And you guys never beat Pacquiao to get that belt. So, technically in my eyes, when they have that, if they had that fight, Pacquiao still the A-side in that fight, and he would still come in getting a way, way bigger portion of any money that's on the table. So a lot of the stuff, I don't think it would sell personally, Bad Tito. I agree with you that some purist Pacquiao fans would tune in and buy it, and there are probably some Mikey Garcia fans that would buy the fight, but I don't see it selling at all. I think it would do horrible numbers. It definitely wouldn't do what Pacquiao Thurman did. Nowhere near. Boy of the Gore says, if Conor wins a rematch to Poirier, yeah, it's an exhibition fight to Middle East for a huge payday last fight, because Pac is more on politic right now. He wants huge payday to help his country. That's another thing. I don't think Pacquiao really needs the money, man. When I did that whole little, if y'all go back like 2 or 3 streams ago, I talked about, how much Pacquiao's made over it. I never gave the full number of what they're saying he has accumulated, which is somewhere around $300 million, which means he probably holds somewhere around $200 to $250 million in actual cash. So I don't think he's cash poor. I don't think he's starving for money for his campaign either. If $250 million should be plenty of money in the Philippines, and that's American dollars, So I don't know how much that equates to in Philippines money, but I'm pretty sure he's extremely rich in the Philippines. So I don't think it's all about the money, but I agree with you. If he beats Poirier, it makes that match a little more interesting, especially if it's an exhibition. And I think the money that was there will still be there if he comes back and beats Poirier. But I definitely think he would have to prove at least that he can beat somebody in the octagon first before he would get that Pacquiao fight. We got 21 people in the chat right now, man. Could y'all please take time out, Pacquiao, that like button, man. so we can get more people into the chat, and drop me a comment as well. Let me know who all I got in here, so we can get shared out to more people, man. Been on here for 40 minutes. Can y'all get me to at least 10 likes? You know, let a brother get at least 10 likes, son. Come on, man. Alvin says, I know Manny have advantage versus Garcia, but Garcia fight still risk to Manny. Garcia is a good counterpuncher. Garcia needs higher strength and conditioning than Alex Ariza. Now, I would agree there, you know, if he, because I think Brandon Rios, that was kind of his game plan. He went out and got Alex Ariza when he fought Pacquiao. He didn't do horrible against Pacquiao, but he didn't do great either. Pacquiao beat him decisively. But I think it would work for Mikey as well. You know, it would help him, definitely. Might not get him to the point where he could beat Pac. I don't think Alex Ariza knows anything specific that would help Mikey beat Pacquiao, but definitely, man, it would help him a little bit. Probably give him some good steroids. He could pretty sure he got something. Not to say Alex Ariza is a steroid, because when you start talking like that, then people start to say, well, if he's giving steroids, then he definitely had to give Pacquiao some steroids. But hey, I'm gonna leave the kind. That's why I don't really talk about steroids, man, because it opens a whole can of worms. All I can say about steroids is Mayweather accused Pacquiao. Mayweather lost in court. And, you know, it should end there. You know, if they found anything, Pacquiao wouldn't have won that money. Let me see where I get lost in the chat at. Alright, okay. I found myself. What Mikey Garcia gonna do that Pac hasn't seen that he can't handle? That's my point. I don't feel like that's anything Mikey Garcia can do, even with Alex Ariza. Even if Freddie Roach left Manny Pacquiao and went and coached Mikey Garcia, I still think Manny Pacquiao would knock Mikey Garcia out. Now, I will say one thing. If he does pick Mikey Garcia, I think he's picking Mikey Garcia because he knows he can knock Mikey Garcia out, and it would look good if he knocks somebody out. So I would, it's an easy knockout victory. So I would say that would be the only reason he picks Mike. But that makes Pacquiao look bad if he just cherry picks a knockout. It's not going to look good in the eyes of people who are not Pacquiao fans. It's going to look like a cherry pick, and if he knocks him out, it's definitely a cherry pick. And I don't want to. It could possibly be his last fight. We don't know. I don't want to see Mikey Garcia as Pacquiao's potential last fight in boxing. I don't feel like that's a good way that he could potentially leave the sport. Virgil says, do you think Mikey has a puncher's chance against Pacquiao? Everybody has a puncher's chance. Do I really think he has a shot? Not a chance in HE. Look what he did to Keith Thurman. Now, I know everybody says this a year ago. He fought him a year ago, over a year ago, almost 2 years ago. But look what he did to Keith Thurman. That people shouldn't take that fight lightly. He pretty much demolished Thurman for 12 rounds, and he knocked him down in the first round. And I feel like he stepped off the gas once he knocked him down. I feel like he could have actually knocked him out, but I don't feel like he ever went for the knockout in that fight because he knew he was already up on the scorecards so high there was no need to go for the knockout. So I would go off. Everything I'm going off is based off the Keith Thurman fight. He destroyed Keith Thurman, a much bigger fighter than Mikey Garcia, a much stronger fighter than Mikey Garcia, has a better welterweight record than Mikey Garcia, way better. So, no, there's nothing Mikey Garcia could bring to the table. There's nothing nobody can teach him. He does have a puncher's chance because every fighter has a puncher's chance, but I don't think he brings anything to the table that helps him beat Pacquiao. I just hit the like button in there. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you for that. Definitely need it, man. Definitely need it. It helps the algorithm get shared out to more people. more people can come into the conversation, open up the conversation, make it a better convo for everybody. So appreciate that, bro. Orleo, what's good with you, bro? Orleo, what's good with you, man? Good to see you. Maybe Mikey is just making some noise to get some attention because he's been out for quite a while. Maybe it's just a make-up story. And, you know, I feel the same way, man. I feel like it might be similar to what Ryan Garcia was doing and just, you know, basically trying to get his name out there again. He hasn't been off. According to himself, he's really out of shape. But, you know, he has been working out, so it's a possibility. I don't think it would sell. I don't think fans would like it. But it's a possibility, man. Anything's possible at this point. G-Box says, "Sup, Red? Can't say I told you so. It will be my..." He was another one of them. I'm not going to lie. You know, a lot of people said it was going to be Mikey. He was one of the people saying, throwing Taco Garcia out there as Pacquiao's next fight. Now, it's not official yet, G-Box, so like a lot of people are saying, it could just be noise that Mikey's throwing out there. It could just be talk, you know, but it's possible it could be real too. But like I said, if it's real, I think it's going to get a lot of backlash, man. I think it's going to get a lot of backlash. Alexis Channel TV, if Mikey beat Pacquiao, Pacquiao should retire. Exactly. That's why I don't like the fight. You know, Pacquiao has a lot to lose if he fights Terence Crawford. You know, it could be, if he loses to Crawford, it could potentially be the end of his career. But I would rather him lose to Crawford than to lose to Mikey Garcia. It really looks bad if he loses to Mikey Garcia. Because it would depend on how he lost to Crawford. If he lost to Crawford in a close fight, he could still get another fight. You know, he could possibly get a rematch with Crawford. But if he loses to Mikey Garcia, it looks bad, man, because Mikey Garcia is definitely not top-tier competition, and people are going to come out and say, well, we told you so, he's old, he should have just retired, blah, 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 blah. It's never going to stop. William says, Manny is scared Crawford, he's a B that picks easy fights. Man, I can't, your comment got hit, man, because you used the cuss word, but I will still put your comment out there. You know, if the fight don't happen, if he don't fight Spence or Crawford, I don't know who to blame. You know, to be quite honest with you, if he don't fight Crawford, I think they're going to come out and say, well, Pacquiao just wanted too much money. But then loyal Pacquiao fans are going to say, well, you know, it was the biggest payday of your life. Why wouldn't you just take the fight? Bob Arum's not putting up the money. You're ducking. That's what they're going to say. That's not what I'm going to say, because I hate using ducking. I would say that they feel like it's a risky fight and they just don't want to take it. If you don't fight Spence or Crawford, you would have to think that there's a reason for that. Either both of those guys feel like the fight's too risky, or, you know, it could be that Pacquiao feels like the fight's too risky. You know, Pacquiao fans are going to say either one of those guys duck. You know, Crawford and Spence fans are going to say Pacquiao duck. There's no way of avoiding that circumstance if neither one of those fights happen. If he actually fights Mikey Garcia, you're going to see a lot of that, well, Pacquiao's ducking talk. You know, and I don't feel like that's fair, but it just is what it is. Alvarez, I question different topic. Who is more good fighter, Lucas or Jeff Horn? I don't mind different topics, man. Lucas Matisse or Jeff Horn? Of course, Lucas Matisse. Lucas Matisse has way more skill than Jeff Horn. He has actual boxing skill, to where Jeff Horn was just a really big welterweight who Bob Arum used to bully certain fighters with. And it only worked for a certain amount of time. It really shouldn't have worked against Pacquiao, because everybody knows Pacquiao won that fight. But he got robbed. He was in Australia. Shouldn't have went over and took that fight in the first place. I don't think he thought that they would set him up like that, but they did, and he lost his title in the process. So he should actually still be the WBO champion, but we all know the story. It played out in the way it did. But if you're asking who's the better of those two fighters, obviously Lucas Matisse. I don't even think it's a question of that. G-Box, a Filipino blogger, texted Shane Gibson and asked if PAC Mikey is true. Shane replies, "It's a great fight." How sure are you about him texting Shane Gibson? And how do you know that, man? How do you know that he has that type of access to Shane Gibson? Do you know this guy personally? Is there a way you can get me or us as a boxing community in touch with this guy? That's to you, G-Box. G-Box, let me know something. Holy Inferno says, of course, Lucas Matisse, man, of course. I put that on everything. G-Box says, read between the lines. It is a done deal already. I mean, it's a great fight. He said it's a great fight. If that's truly what Shane Gibson says, he could mean a lot of things by it's a great fight. But you could possibly be right. I'm not saying you're wrong. You could possibly be right. It could possibly just be chatter. But I'm not in the know. Let me know where you got that information from. If that's some official information, if you have a way of verifying that, G-Box. Boar says, I believe anyone in welterweight right now is dangerous for Manny Pacquiao. I wouldn't say anyone, because I definitely wouldn't say Danny Garcia is a threat to Pacquiao. I wouldn't say Adrian Broner is a threat to Pacquiao. I wouldn't say that Sean Porter even is a threat to Pacquiao. I think Sean Porter's probably, out of those three, the most dangerous fight. But I think Pacquiao would still beat all three of those guys. He's already beaten Adrian Broner, but I think he could beat Danny Garcia or Sean Porter easily, just compared to what he did to Keith Thurman, in my eyes, to be honest. But I do feel like Crawford's a dangerous fight. I do feel like Spence is a dangerous fight. I don't feel like Mikey Garcia is a dangerous fight. I feel like you guys is definitely a dangerous fight because people are sleeping on you guys, and they kind of feel like, I guess, you guys is just a pushover fighter for some reason. But because he just hasn't had the exposure that his career deserves. Alexis Channel TV, me either. I don't want to see this matchup between PAC and Mikey. Better to sleep rather than watch this fight. I completely agree, man. I think it'll be, if he actually I want to know the reason he picks Mikey, if he does. Not saying he is, not saying that's the fight that's going to happen. But if he does pick Mikey, I would really like to know the reason why the Crawford negotiation fell apart, why he didn't go after a Spence fight, and why he didn't pursue a Yordanius you guys fight, or even a Sean Porter fight. I think that those would be interesting questions, and I think it would speak a lot. And it goes against what he even said himself about wanting a legacy, to end his career on legacy fights. So it really doesn't make a lot of sense. This whole Garcia talk makes no sense. The Ryan Garcia talk made no sense. The Conor McGregor talk made no sense. But now throwing Mikey Garcia in there, it really is mind blowing at this point. Alvarez, in my opinion, if Manny fight Crawford next year, he need hire Alex Ariza. Alex Ariza is a why are you so high on Alex Ariza? Are you actually Alex Ariza? That now we gotta remember, Alex Ariza kicked a very sick, Freddie Roach in the chest. So, and he couldn't even knock him down. So I don't know how actually good of a strength and conditioning coach Alex Ariza really. I mean, come on, for a guy who's probably in his 30s to be kicking a guy in his 50s, 60s who has Parkinson's and couldn't even knock him down. He can't be all that good of a strength and conditioning coach. He did some good things with Pacquiao back in the day, but that was a long time ago. Orleo says, nowadays rematch seems not a thing. those old days that great fighters go through trilogies or such. Man, that's true. Pacquiao is really giving the sport a lot of great rematch fights, and it would be interesting if he fought Crawford, even if he beat Crawford, then they had a rematch, or if Crawford beat him and then they had a rematch. It would be awesome just to see it, man. It would be a great way for Pacquiao to end his career. But I think if Pacquiao beat Crawford, you would definitely see him go on to fight Spence. I don't think he would risk the rematch. Maybe after he fought Spence, he would, and he potentially unified all titles. Maybe he would give Crawford a rematch, but I don't think Pacquiao would be entertaining a rematch if he beat either one of those guys. Bore the gore. If Crawford fight you guys, that would be lethal. Listen, I think that's a better fight than Mikey Garcia. At least you got something to gain from fighting you guys. You can at least get your belt back. You guys is a better fighter at welterweight than Mikey Garcia is. He's a stronger, more dangerous fighter than Mikey Garcia is. So I think you would get more people tuning into that fight than you would Manny Pacquiao versus Mikey Garcia. Although Mikey Garcia does come with a little bit of a built-in Hispanic fan base, I don't think it's big enough for a Pacquiao fight. My opinion, hey, it is what it is, man. Right. Fitness says Pacquiao scared of no one. It's all about good business. All about the business of boxing, man. And what do you elaborate on that for me, Fitness, man? What do you mean about the business? You think this Mikey Garcia fight is good business? You think this is the business of boxing? Why do you think this whole Mikey Garcia talk is even coming up at this point? Let me move on down a little bit here. Alvarez continue. Alex Ariza is a good strength and conditioning. Manny need more power, much with help from Alex Ariza. Crawford is dangerous. I don't know, because I feel like he knocked Keith Thurman down. So Keith Thurman was he's bigger than Terence Crawford. He's stronger than Crawford. Maybe Crawford does some things as far as skill sets a little better than Thurman does. And Crawford's a switch hitter where Thurman's not. But Pacquiao knocked down the biggest welterweight of today, who was Keith Thurman. So I don't think he needs more power. And I don't think. I think if he just brings the power that he brought to the Keith Thurman fight, he can knock Terence Crawford down easily. If he lands something on Crawford, he's definitely gonna go down. Crawford's not as big as Keith Thurman is. Bad Tito, I don't believe it, man. The last thing Pac said, he's chasing legacy. Mikey clout chasing. I'm with you, Bad Tito. I don't believe it either, man. I'm until I see it signed, sealed, and delivered. And I'm gonna be real upset if it gets signed, sealed, and delivered. I will stream it, but I won't pay for it, man. I paid for Maypac. I paid for Pacquiao Thurman. I definitely wouldn't pay for Pacquiao Garcia at all. Either one of the Garcias. But I'm with you, Bad Tito, on that. Hurley Inferno. Mikey did this many times. All of this is from Garcia. I'm sick of him. I lost lots of respect because of the Spence fight. Mikey didn't fight like a warrior, or better words, like a Mexican. I mean, that's true. I mean, you could just look at... I mean, that's why it don't make sense. Spence destroyed Mikey Garcia, basically. He made him look really bad as a welterweight. And then, Mikey Garcia did come back and fight Jesse Vargas and win, but he didn't look spectacular when he beat Vargas. So I don't understand why Pacquiao would pick, if it's about legacy, Mikey Garcia. So I agree with you there, Holy Inferno. NL said, I saw the AB Pac-Man fight today. Pac looked quick and hurt AB with some shots and that was back in 2019. He fought Keith Thurman, looked strong. Whoever Pac fights, we will see if he still has it. Mikey 40-1. I mean, Mikey has a great record, but most of that was he only had 2 welterweight fights. So, you know, he had 47. No, he had 38 fights at weights below welterweight. So, you know, he's only had 2 fights at welterweight, which was Earl Spence, who made him look horrible, and then he beat Jesse Vargas. Well, you know, what's a win to Jesse Vargas? You know, what's a Vargas win? That's nothing really. He hasn't proved anything at welterweight. So, you know, I feel like he doesn't even deserve a Pacquiao fight. If anybody deserves a Pacquiao fight from the lower ranked fighters, it would be either Sean Porter or you guys. You know, you guys earned it because he is the super title holder. He was Pacquiao's mandatory. So at this point, you know, that fight makes a lot of sense. Mikey Garcia just don't make a lot of sense at this point. The AB fight was a great fight, though. I like, you know, everything Pacquiao brought to the table in the AB. Made AB look real bad. He basically ended Adrian Broner's career, you know, in a lot of ways. Broner might make a comeback, but he's the one who put Broner on the backslide, who made him look bad, you know, where a lot of people were saying Broner was going to destroy Pacquiao. Or Leo says Sean gives a Hatton-style vibe going forward all the way, but for sure he's tougher than Ricky. I agree with you. I do feel like Sean Porter is a much better fighter than Ricky Hatton. Well, I don't know why, to be completely honest with you, Ricky Hatton got so much credit. I never liked Ricky Hatton, to be honest with you. I don't understand how he became so famous. I think it was just because he was an overseas fighter and he came in with a built-in fan base from overseas, so he got a lot of accolades for what he did overseas over in Ireland. But I never gave Ricky Hatton a lot of credit. But I agree with you. He's a come-forward style fighter similar to what Hatton did. But I think Sean Porter has much more skill than what Ricky Hatton had. Fitness says, they said Thurman is a dangerous fight for Pacquiao, Pac-Man, but because of experience and skill, Manny wins. Exactly. That's why I feel like he can still compete with Crawford and Spence, you know. I feel like maybe they realizing that it's a dangerous fight for either one of them. So, hey, it is what it is. The only one we know who's willing to fight Manny Pacquiao for sure is Mikey Garcia and Ryan Garcia. They definitely want that smoke. They're willing to get knocked out and get $2 million off of that fight. Why does David Benavidez look like he the son of Adrian the Great, Andre the Great? Homie should have kept the long sideburns. I haven't seen him. I guess he cut it off. Bond QQ, what's good with you, bro? Appreciate you for dropping that comment, man. Good to see you. Alvarez, I clarify. I say to you, Alex Ariza do not know about boxing. Roach is one of the greatest boxing trainers, for sure. All the trainers of all time. By the way, Alex Ariza can help you have power punch. If you're insinuating that, you know, the steroids, you know, I don't know, man. You know, I don't feel like Ariza is that good of a strength and conditioning coach. Once again, Bore the Gore, Pac-Man, Marquez 5 last fight is the most beautiful ending career. You know, I'd be more interested in seeing Pacquiao fight Marquez than I would seeing Pacquiao fight Mikey Garcia. Even though Marquez has been off for almost 10 years, I think Marquez would give Pacquiao a better fight than Mikey Garcia would. But I doubt that would ever happen. Marquez is never getting back in the boxing ring, especially with Manny Pacquiao. He's been off way too long. I don't believe Demetrius Andreas is as powerful as he claimed he is. Haven't really seen him fight much, man, so I can't elaborate on Andreas yet, man. I gotta watch him fight more. Andreas is Mikey has a belt. I know he lost to Spence. No, he don't have no belts. Only people hold titles is Spence, Crawford, and you guys. They have all the titles at welterweight. Boy the Gore, Pac-Man needs stamina, not power, speed. It's already right there. Exactly. I don't feel like he's lacking anything at this point, man. Just go off the Thurman fight. He had enough power to knock down the best welterweight of the day that people were saying was the best welterweight of the day. He had enough speed to out-quick everything Thurman brought to the table. And he lasted to the 12th round. So I don't feel like he's lacking anywhere in any one category. I just wish we, as fans, would get the fights that we want to see. And I wish they would quit teasing us with these sideline fighters like Ryan Garcia and Mikey Garcia, and just, negotiate with the best that's out there. I know you got to negotiate with everybody to find the perfect fit, especially with everything that's going on in the world. But like I said earlier, there are states that are already opening back up, and they're opening back up with no mask mandates, which means that they're going to allow people to be in stadiums, and if they're letting you in without a mask, I don't see there being a limit on the amount of people they would put in the stadium at this point. So we gotta wait and see how this is all going to play out, man. Very interesting what all is going on this week as far as, them starting to lift some of these mandates on some states, as far as, not wearing masks and opening stuff back up. And then you got all this stuff with the stimulus money, too, dropping this week. They're about to pass the stimulus package this week. So, this is a big week for everybody, man. Let's see. Leo says, is Thurman bigger than Spence? Because he said that he's the biggest welterweight of today. Like I said, man, at one point they were saying Thurman was the best welterweight out there, And to me, he's still, one of the best, but Pacquiao took down the best welterweight out there. So, but I do believe that Thurman is, I think Thurman is the biggest welterweight out there. He's like 6'3", and Pacquiao did great against Thurman, and that's what people forget, like how bad he did Thurman, who is the biggest welterweight out there. And Thurman didn't knock him out, knock him down, didn't really give him trouble at all. So I don't see any other fighter at welterweight really giving Pacquiao too many problems, just based off of how he handled Thurman. Bond Q, Thurman is bigger. Remember, Bob Arum shrunk Thurman. Thurman's used to be 6'3". Boy the Gore, to all this clout chasing moment for Pac-Man, what if the fight that's really happening 100% was Pacquiao versus Charles Z? That would be a great career ending. Charlie Z. Who is Charlie Z? Can you elaborate on who is Charlie? I don't know who that is, to be honest with you. Alvarez. If Roach and Alex Ariza met again, I hope they become friends again. I hope Alex Ariza apologizes to Roach. See, that's the problem with what you're saying. There's no way in HE double hockey sticks Alex Ariza will ever work with Pacquiao again because he kicked Freddie Roach, and Roach ain't gonna work with him ever again. Got 21 people in here right now, man. If you ain't hit the like button yet, please Pacquiao that like button for me. Drop me a comment. Let me know you're in here. Been on for about an hour, man. I'll go for a few more minutes. Hit the rest of these comments, and I'm probably going to get out of here or grab something to eat. We'll definitely hop back on here tomorrow. If y'all give me the 20 likes, I'll get back on here tomorrow, man. And y'all probably going to see me all week long anyway. I just want to get to 20 likes. Give me the 20 likes, man, if y'all can. We get back to these comments. Orleo, I've heard Mikey has WBC Diamond. What's that? I don't think Mikey has any belts. The only belts that matter are the WBO, which Terence Crawford has, the IBF, which Earl Spence has, the WBC, which Spence has, and the WBA, which Yordanius you guys currently have. So I believe those are all the belts. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 belts. There might be a Ring Magazine belt out there, but those Ring Magazine belts don't really mean anything. Which I think Spence actually has the Ring Magazine belt too, because he has 3 belts. If you watched when he beat Danny Garcia, he had 3 belts. He had the IBF, the WBC, and the Ring Magazine belt. So I don't think Crawford has any. Mikey Garcia has any belts. Let me see. Makusa. Lost him. Okay, all right. Byron Q says, Red, are you related to Terence? Nah, I ain't related to Crawford, man. We probably, we brothers from a different mother, man. I guess, the good Lord was having a lot of fun the day he made me and Terence Crawford and what's his name? I always forget his name. I was thinking about him earlier too. Why do I always forget his name? But people say I look like Don Cheadle, and so guy was having a lot of fun with that one, man. But then why do I always forget his name? The guy who Pacquiao fought, who looks like me, I always forget his name. I don't know why. But you silly, man. Let's move on here. PAC, yo, welcome back, Red. Long time no see, man. I had caught that headache, man, and then I had some stuff I had to take care of, man. So finally back. Appreciate that, PAC, man. Hit that like button for me. Thurman beat Demetrius Andreas, and Andre chasing PAC since 2014. I don't know about that fight, man. I don't know if it would happen. We'll see though. Or Leo, Barn QQ, how do you think Thurman shrunk 6'3"? Really? Holy Inferno, Charlie. Barn QQ says Bob Arum weakened Thurman. Michael Campbell, what's good with you, bro? Thurman is 5'10". I know he's somewhere around 6 foot, but they shrink. They shrink and then they scratch people sometimes. So basketball players, they usually up their height, like a half an inch. So if they 5'10", they'll say they're 6 foot, 5'11", 6 foot. But fighters, they might shrink them down an inch. So if he's 5'10", you might as well say Thurman's around 6. He's 6 foot tall, basically. Brian Q, he's 6'3". He might be that tall. I know he is officially the biggest welterweight that there is out there. I think actually your Danish, you guys might be second. Him and Spence might be around similar heights. You guys might be like 5'9", 5'10", 5'11", somewhere in there. So you guys is a dangerous fight, man. People be sleeping on you guys, but he's a really dangerous fight. Arlito said PAC versus Malignaggi is more entertaining. Can't with that guy. I can't with that guy. Malignaggi, I never liked Paulie Malignaggi, to be completely honest with you. I thought he was kind of horrible. I don't really think he was a little fast, but other than that, he didn't really have a lot of boxing skill. And the fighters he beat, I think did he beat Broner? I can't remember if he beat Broner or if Broner beat him, but I think that might have been one of his best fights, was when he fought Adrian Broner. I ain't gonna lie, I didn't like Malignaggi that much. And I think Pacquiao would have knocked Malignaggi out in like half a round, for real. I think he would have walked right into one of Pacquiao's left hands. When you get older, your height decreases, remember. Depends. I guess it depends. Depends on how good you work out and how good you stay in shape. But a lot of people, they do start leaning over the older they get. So that's very true. Especially with taller people, their knees are usually the first thing to start going out is the knees. So, remember that. Bad Tito, thanks for chopping it up with us, Red. No problem, man. I love coming through, man. I would have been back early. Joshua Clottey, man. I can't never remember his name. But definitely, you know, guy was having a lot of fun when he made Crawford, me, and Clottey, and Don Cheadle. Who else? Who else is out there? But I think those are the closest similarities. That's funny though. Clottey definitely, man. Everybody said Clottey. I can't never remember his name for some reason. He's the only one. I can remember every other fighter Pacquiao ever fought. But when it comes to Josh Clottey, I guess because he looked like me and I'd be trying to forget about him, I can never remember his name. So I appreciate that. PAC, Orleo, and Campbell, man. I bet y'all having a good laugh and bored to glory. Timothy Brown looked like Timothy Bradley. I will say one thing though, Bradley's physique to be a vegan, and you know I had a really good looking physique about a year ago. I had been training real hard every day, walking every day with a 50-pound weight vest, man, doing boxing workouts every day. You know, push-ups, chin-ups, you know, just walking miles. I was walking miles every day. I probably was doing like 5 miles every day with a 50-pound weight vest. So I had shredded myself, but I was only 130 pounds, soaking wet. But I had the 6-pack of guys, you know what I'm saying? and the stream kind of skipped there. But Tim Bradley is a vegan, and he was 147 pounds and had these ridiculous looking abs and just muscles all over the place. And I don't know how he pulled that off being a vegan. But I would love if I can get, and I've been, I've been doing things here lately, like taking protein. I found a good vegan protein powder I done started taking. And I finally hit my goal of making 140 pounds. I'm 140 finally. I ain't been 140 in a long time. And I think I can get to 147 before the summertime. So I'm trying to get to 147. Hopefully with using this protein powder that I found. That's all vegan, serious mass gaining protein powder. I can get that Timothy Bradley body. So if y'all say I look like him in the face, wait till this summer. I'm gonna try to get the Tim Bradley body to go along with it. Side note, Hurley Inferno. The Ring Magazine belt is pretty legit, but Spence not no ring champ. I don't know why he had 3 belts. I'm not sure what that third belt. It has to be the Ring Magazine belt. Because he has the IBF, the WBC. Crawford has the WBO, and Jordanus, you guys has the WBA, the belt that Pacquiao used to hold. So, I don't think Mikey Garcia has the Ring Magazine belt. I believe Spence has that belt too. And I believe when he beat Mikey Garcia is when he got that Ring Magazine belt. So Mikey Garcia might have had the Ring Magazine belt, but remember he lost to Earl Spence Jr., so he might have lost that Ring Magazine belt to Spence when he lost to Spence Jr. Clarify, I say to you, Manny is one of the greatest boxers all time, but by the way, if fight Crawford, he need to hire good strength. You on that strength and conditioning stuff, man. Emmanuel Amara, what's good with you, bro? I know I'm probably saying your name wrong again, but next rumors, PAC versus you guys, PAC versus Floyd, PAC versus Lopez. What else is the I mean, it's very true, man. It's a lot. Everybody wants a piece of Manny Pacquiao, so everybody's just throwing their name out there at this point. Everybody's saying it's official, and I don't want to run with anything being official until it comes from Team Pacquiao and or Adi Artar, Shane Gibson, Paradigm Sports. When it comes from them, I'll be like, yes, completely official. I could say what Bob Arum said was official, but that's only because it came from Bob Arum, and what he says is official when it comes to him and his fighter. So I only go off of official sources. None of this is official. It could all just be Mikey Garcia, hey, trying to build his name and chasing a Pacquiao fight. Or it could be very true. It could be true. It could be his next opponent. I know Mikey Garcia said he was 180 pounds. So not only is he going to come in weight drained, but I still think it's going to be a horrible fight either way around. Even if he's not weight drained, I think Pacquiao still beats him. The only reason I think he would pick Mikey Garcia is if Spence turns down the fight, Crawford turns down the fight, you guys turns down the fight. They're trying to freeze him out of getting any more of those titles, and Mikey's the only fight he can get, and it's an easy knockout basically. He can go knock Mikey out. Everybody says Pacquiao still looks good, and then he can go try to pursue Spence, you guys, or Crawford in the future if he decides to keep fighting. Only reason I think he would choose. That's the only reason I think he would choose Mikey Garcia. Is that going to be the choice? I don't know, because he said he was going after legacy. So we just gotta kind of wait and see. Bon Q, Broner beat Polly. Yeah, I thought he won. It was a good fight though. I think it was Polly's best fight. It was best performance. I watched some of that fight. I don't know if I watched the whole thing, but I did watch some of that fight. Pac will tie his one hand and still beat Polly. He can fight Polly Malignaggi with his eyes closed and still win. I could probably beat Polly. Didn't Conor McGregor knock Polly Malignaggi out in sparring? I think I could beat Polly. If y'all all put up $20 a piece, and we raise $600, I think we can get Polly Malignaggi to fight me. I think we could do a 50-50 split. I take $300. Polly Malignaggi, that'd be the biggest payday Polly Malignaggi ever got. That $300. But y'all put up the $600. I think we can get Polly to fight me, man. Pac said in a face-to-face interview to Bradley that he's handsome. I don't remember that. He called Tim Bradley handsome for real. Did he really call Tim Bradley handsome? You gonna make me go back and watch all the Tim Bradley, Manny Pacquiao pre-fight and post-fights just so I can find that clip. You silly for that one, Leo. You silly for that one. Bon Q, Andre Ward, and Alien. Hey, what do y'all think about Ward, man? I only saw a few Andre Ward fights, and then he retired. Then he came back. He fought again. I missed that fight, and then he retired again. So what do y'all think about Andre Ward, man? What do y'all put Ward at on the all-time great? Is Ward in the top 10 of all-time great fighters? Border Cambosa has the chance to beat Tio because Teofimo Jr. father, Tio Sr. looks like Cambosa. I think Cambosa has a really good shot of beating Teofimo. I still feel like Teofimo's win against Vasile was a little bit of a fluke, and I think he should be pursuing that rematch more than he should be trying to fight Cambosa. I think Cambosa is battle tested because he's been in there with Pacquiao. I know his chin is battle tested, so there's nothing that Teofimo is going to be able to land on Cambosa that Cambosa hasn't felt as far as power from a legitimate welterweight. When he sparred Manny Pacquiao was at welterweight. I believe he sparred him for the Broner fight and for the Matisse fight. Don't quote me, but I think those were the two fights that he sparred him for. But he might have done a couple of more, but I believe it was those two fights. But I like Cambosa. I think he can beat Teofimo. Do you know Amir Khan, Alex Ariza? Man, here you go with this Alex Ariza talk again. I got Tio whooping Cambosa, beating him like he stole something from him. I don't know, man. Don't sleep on Cambosa. He might shock the world similar to what Tio did. But we just got to see this. Is that a fight official yet? Because I know Tio was talking about leaving Bob Arum. So what's going on with the Teofimo Kambosos fight, man? I haven't looked in. You know, I took those days off because I caught that little headache or whatever. And I wasn't even looking at boxing talk, man. I wasn't looking at nothing boxing related until I got rid of that headache. And then I had to go take care of some other stuff. So, you know, today is really my first day back even looking at I was checking out some Pacquiao talk as far as articles and stuff, but I wasn't really trying to put anything together. So, as far as the Teofimo Kambosos fight, I mean, how's the negotiation of that fight moving along? Are they actually going to fight? Because somebody in the chat let me know. Holy Inferno, Diamond Belt. So you saying that Spence doesn't have the Ring magazine? He has the Diamond Belt? Because I know he does have 3 belts. So I don't even know what is the Diamond Belt. Who sanctions that belt? And who has the Ring magazine belt then? Does he still... why would Pacquiao want the Ring magazine belt? You know... Someone said earlier that the Ring magazine belt is not a slouch belt, but I don't think anybody cares about the Ring magazine belt. But let me know in the chat, man. What do y'all think, man? We got 26 people in here right now. Can y'all get me to 25 likes, man? Anybody who hasn't Pacquiao the like button yet, please Pacquiao the like button for me. Hook it, jab it, uppercut it, whatever you do. Let me know y'all in here. Drop me a comment, man, so I can shout your name out. G-Box, smash that like button, people. Exactly. Please for me, please. Mikey won against Vargas. Did Vargas has belt that time? Ah, okay. So he got the ring belt from Vargas. Okay, he did fight Vargas after he fought Spence. So who did Spence get that third belt from? Did that belt come with the IBF belt, or did it come with the WBC belt that Spence got when he whoever he beat to get those 2 belts? So if anybody knows, can y'all let the rest of the chat know? Oh, I lost myself. Okay, here we go. All right, Brian Q says Timothy Bradley was on the cover of Sexiest Black Boxing magazine. Now I got 2 questions for you. I didn't know that there was a Sexiest Black Boxing magazine, and why was you looking at the Sexiest Black Boxing? Please let me know. Answer those 2 questions for me, bro. Cause I didn't know that those things actually exist. Joshua Clyde is the name you're thinking of. Exactly, G-Box, man. I appreciate you. Hurley Inferno says Ward is not a Hall of Famer. Wow. You know, I've always wondered that about Andre Ward, man. Because like I said, I only got to see pieces of his career. And the pieces I saw didn't look that impressive. I know they were comparing him to Floyd at one point, and his defense being the best and all this. But, you know, I never was real impressed with Andre Ward. PAC, I don't like Andre Ward's style, too much hugging. Yeah, from what I saw, that's basically what I saw when I watched him fight, was a lot of hugging as well. So, you know, I never really liked Ward. I didn't really like Polly. I didn't really like Ricky Hatton, to be honest. But I never really watched any of those guys much. But when I did watch them, they didn't look as spectacular as their names were being made out to be. Bad Tito, yeah, man, I'll hook you up with a fight with Polly. He'll fight you for 500. That would be the biggest payday Polly Maldonado got all year, man. 500 big ones, smackaroos, man. Yeah, if you put the money up, you get in touch with Polly Maldonado. We put it on the channel, man. I'll knock Polly straight out for y'all, man. If Pacquiao couldn't do it, I'd do it for him, man. Born the Gore, Pac versus Floyd. Who's greater? Who's better? Who's the real TBE? Who's greater for you, Pac or Floyd? There's no doubt in my mind that Manny Pacquiao's legacy supersedes Floyd Mayweather's O. You know, I feel like his legacy is much better than any O Floyd Mayweather could hold. That's just my personal opinion. I think the O pretty much means nothing because he cherry picked his way to that O. where Pacquiao took on all comers. You know, he did not take on anybody who wanted to fight him. So I would say, you know, you would have to put Pacquiao as the best out of those two fighters. Bond Q, which Floyd Sr. or Floyd Jr.? Who do y'all think's the better of those two? Y'all think because Floyd cherry picked a lot of fights and Floyd Sr. Kind of took on all fighters, that Floyd Sr. is actually the better out of those two fighters? Who do y'all think's the better out of Floyd Sr. or Floyd Jr.? Manuel Mara, Spence versus Crawford must happen now. If not, both fighters will be ridiculed for life. I think if it don't happen, I think it's gonna be a lot of fingers getting pointed if neither one of those fights happen. As far as them fighting each other, or if neither one of them fight Pacquiao, you're gonna see a lot of fingers getting pointed. Alvarez, the fact Garcia and Manny just need sign a contract. Majority of people say Manny, but I don't not think Manny knocks Garcia. Garcia is the new Marquez. Manny do not have enough power punch to knock out Mikey. I think you're wrong about that one. Mikey's nowhere near the size of Thurman, and Pacquiao put it on Thurman's chin. I think he would put Mikey to sleep. If he landed that same punch he landed on Thurman on Mike Garcia would have went to sleep. And I don't think it's a doubt in my mind about that one. Hurley Inferno, Mikey Garcia versus Earl Spence was for the IBF and WBC Diamond Belt. The ring title been vacated by Floyd and haven't been fought for since linear title haven't been vacated since Pacquiao last had it. Interesting. Very interesting there. So, you're saying that the IBF and WBC Diamond Belt were on the line when he fought Mikey? Why wasn't the WBC regular on the line then? Because he has to have is the WBC belt the Diamond Belt? Is that the belt because he beat everyone else in the WBC? Is that they call their super title is the Diamond Belt and not the super title like the WBA? Clarify a little bit more for me, Holy Inferno. I'm going to stay on here for about another 10-15 minutes, man. And then we're going to get out of here. Bad Tito, PAC's 8 divisions is the greatest world record. Floyd don't got that. Probably chaps Floyd's. Hey, it definitely gets under Floyd's skin that Pacquiao has that accomplishment, and that a lot of people place Pacquiao above Floyd because of the 8 division. Not only the 8 division, but that he took on all comers to where they feel like Floyd cherry picked his way to 50-0. So technically, Floyd should be at 48 still, if you don't count the Berto fight and the who was it? Was it Khabib that he got to 50-0? Was it Khabib or McGregor that he got to 50-0? It was one of those two. I think it was the McGregor fight. So you definitely can't count that McGregor fight, but I take away the Berto fight too, because Berto, I mean, I could have beat Berto. Come on, let's be honest. Alvarez, people in the chat really want to talk Bradley, but after Bradley and Manny fight, Teddy Atlas' silence was embarrassed. Roach proved to be the whole world. Atlas as good. Say straight only. Roach is really happy he win. I think Roach is a better coach than Atlas is. I think Atlas just had better fighters. He had bigger name fighters than Roach. Well, I don't know about now, but back in the day, back in the 80s and 90s, he had bigger name fighters than Roach. But, you know, Roach has come a long way. Olito, what do you think about the female boxer that they compare to PAC's legacy? Because she won 7 division fight. They said she maybe surpassed PAC. I gotta look her up. Are you talking about Clarissa Shields, or is there somebody out there who's who's not named Clarissa Shields who pulled that off. I forgot the name. It's all good. I had to look that one up though. I appreciate that info, Orleo. Bond QQ, Leonard Ellaby was looking at the sexiest black magazine in his Instagram, and he said Bradley was on the cover. Wonder why Ellaby chose. I thought you was joking, man. I didn't know that actually exists. I don't know what to think about that. I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm gonna go look it up and see if it's real, but I would take your word for that one. Very interesting. So that does by default that make me the sexiest man in boxing talk history? Should I ask this? Y'all say I look like him, so that makes me the sexiest man in boxing talk, right? So I'm gonna ride with that. I'm gonna go with that. Holy Inferno, the WBC is a stupid organization. Porter and Danny fought for the WBC vacated belt. Same WBC Thurman was stripped from. Diamond belt is more of a trophy title. So you're saying that third belt that Spence has is the WBC Diamond belt? So he actually has the WBC regular championship and the WBC Diamond belt. Is that what you're saying, Holy Inferno? That'll be my last question, man, and I'm probably going to get out of here. I'm going to finish these comments up, though. Boy, are we glad that your looks too far compared to Jeff May. You know what? I would have to agree with that. I've seen May. You know, I do the other two brothers like Jeff and Roger. I do favor because you know that's just something in my family, man. We kind of favor the Mayweathers a little. I don't know why I favor all these boxers like Mayweather, Clyde, Crawford. You know Crawford a lot, you know, because of the haircut. But it's funny, man. Oh man, Terence Crawford versus PAC. I hope it happens. Rorando. What's good with your Rorando, man? If you're new to the chat, please hit that like button for me. If y'all can give me the 25 likes, man, Pacquiao that like button for me real fast. Pacquiao, hook it, jab it, uppercut it. Let me know y'all in here, man. Drop me a comment before we get out of here. PAC. Shield hates PAC, by the way. She's homeboy of AB. Huh. I didn't know that. That's very interesting. I have seen them in a lot of pictures together, but I didn't know they was tight like that. She looks mean, man. She don't look like somebody you would want to hang out with. I mean, just to be completely honest, she don't look like somebody you would want to hang out with too much. Here's an off the wall question. So we got 26 people in the chat right now. I know most of these are probably males. If we got any females in here, you know, y'all could chime in as well. But who out of this 26 people would lay Clarissa Shields? Would you serve Clarissa Shields up the D? Would you give Clarissa the D? Who would dick on that? Who would serve Clarissa Shields the D up in the chat? I think that's a pretty interesting question, man. Who would give her the D, man? Let me know. Cause she don't got a bad body, but man, she gonna have to paper bag that one, son. Okay, let me move on. Amara said, I agree with you. Thought about Floyd legacy 50-0, but he can't go beyond 51. Real talk. Yeah, I definitely don't see him going beyond 51, man. He possibly might, if Pacquiao pulls off this Crawford fight or this Spence fight, wins either one or maybe both. I think you might see Floyd Mayweather come out of retirement, you know, just for that 51-0, and because Pacquiao will be unified champ, he stands to gain a lot of money from that fight. So you possibly could see him come out for that one. Hurley Inferno says Pacquiao never had a ABC world title. World title at 126 and at 140, but he had the ring title beating Hatton, and Barrera ring title are considered world titles. It's basically a belt for a linear champion with no belt. Interesting. Very interesting. You're dropping a lot of knowledge on us, Inferno. Keep dropping it. Keep dropping it, son. I need that. I need that. He looked like a prime Crawford. I guess you could say that because I'm 140 and I think Crawford was better at 140, so I'll be the prime Terence Crawford. Yeah, hopefully I get some chicks off the back of this, man. Bad Tito says rather have Layla Ali. I completely agree with that one, man. I would definitely 1,000,000 times over smash Layla Ali than Clarissa Shields. Now Clarissa Shields' body ain't bad, but you can actually look at Layla. You don't need a paper bag for Layla Ali. You only gonna need no paper bag for that one. But you definitely need a paper bag for Clarissa Shields. You got to turn her around or something. You got to cut the lights off and put a towel over her face. Oh, but she got a nice body, though. Yeah, hey, so if anybody, listen, if she's watching this, I said you got a nice body. Please don't knock me out. And she look crazy, man. You run into her in the streets. You might as well run into a real end in the streets. You run into her in the streets, you gonna have to shoot her. Alright, let me move on. Don Q says even Crawford's bodyguards wouldn't tell to do this. I wonder if I went to a Terence Crawford fight and I put my chain on and stuff. By the way, I just brought this. I'm about to take it back too. Because the dude got me. It's nice or whatever. It looks nice. And he told me it was something that it's really not. So I'm going to take it back, get my money. And I'm not going to get my money back. I'm just going to trade me for this other piece that he had. And give me this other chain that he had. But, it looked nice. But if I put this on, and, I got me a whole little box of, swag going and walk to a fight, I wonder if they would let me in. I'm like, I'm Bud Crawford. I'm Bud's Bud, man, let me in. Go sneak in and give me some good seats somewhere. Let me see. I'm gonna finish up this chat, man. I'm about to get out of here. I lost myself. Shields can't get a punch to the shoulder like a homie. Nothing. Like, what's up, girl? Alvarez, you forgot Atlas fighter Moore lost round 10 knockout to 45-year-old George Foreman. Atlas teach Tyson in amateurs. By the way, Kevin Rooney teach boxing, Tyson in professional fight. After I can't remember his name right now, but after Tyson's original trainer died, God, why can't I remember his name? But when he died, then I believe that's when I don't think Atlas was his full trainer. I think there still was another guy who was was like the head trainer, but Atlas was on the team. And then when he started messing around with the Nation of Islam, I think they brought somebody else new in, and Tyson kind of went crazy after that. But very funny, very funny. Pac, he looked like that guy Mimi. Why you always lying? I knew eventually that one would come up. Why you always lie? But it's not just me. So you gotta say Crawford and Josh Clottey and what's his name? Don Cheadle also look like him too. So it ain't just me. Nice red. Crawford is handsome it's your time to shine. But yeah, killing me, man. You killing me. Whose first boxer inspired you the most that brings your soul into boxing world? Definitely Muhammad Ali. But I think the first actual fighter I saw live was Mike Tyson. I had seen Leonard fights, Ali fights with my father watching tapes and Sports Center and stuff back in the day. But the first official fight I saw live was Mike Tyson. Who did he fight? He fought... God, I can't even remember who he fought. It was like in 91, like 89 or 91 or something like that. I take that back. Y'all don't need to know how old I am. Not just playing. But it was like in 89 or 90. It was a long time ago, man. And Tyson knocked him out. That was the first actual live fight I ever saw. We went over my uncle's house to watch it. I can't remember who he was fighting, though. Jesus. I can't remember who he was fighting, though. But Tyson did knock him out. He knocked him out in the first round, like 50-something seconds. Knocked him through. I think he knocked him through the ropes, matter of fact. But yeah, I would say Ali brought me into boxing. Leonard made me a fan of speed, hand speed in boxing. Tyson brought the excitement to me in boxing. And then Manny Pacquiao. And then Barrera and Morales made me real boxing fans. Manny Pacquiao made me a super boxing fan. Manny Pacquiao made me a boxing fan for life. So I would give credit to all those guys. And Bernard Hopkins. And I don't give enough credit to Bernard Hopkins because who actually brought me back to boxing was Bernard Hopkins. I started watching Hopkins fights, and then I found Antonio Barrera and Eric Morales and really got into them. And then when Pacquiao destroyed them, then I really started watching boxing a lot more. It really made me a super fan of boxing. I would have to give credit first to Ali, Tyson, Leonard, Bernard Hopkins, Eric Morales, Antonio Barrera, and Manny Pacquiao. So those 7 names are what made me a lifetime fan of boxing. Where I'm lost again. Where'd I go? Alright, I found. Shields fell and rode a hill, but I have a big gap, so I can't talk. Forgive me. You're silly, man. Die be careful, rear. Or Spence might think you're Crawford. They might. Hey, I'll take that check. I ain't scared. I sure will take that check, and then they'll never. I'll go back there like I'm about to lace up, and they'll never see me again. Hey, y'all gonna see me come back to YouTube, man, and really be shined up. With the little bit of money I spent on this thing, hey, I would be real shined up. Wait till you see the one I'm gonna get tomorrow, though. I like this, but it's not me, man. I ain't this flashy, and it's not what he told me it was. So he's gonna trade me out and give me the other piece. So, definitely, man. If I got that money, hey, believe me, I would get that money and disappear in a hot second. I'd be in Africa, man. Y'all think I look like an African now? I'd be over in Africa. I'd be a bazillionaire. If I got $4-5 million from them, I'd be a bazillionaire in Africa. Okay, let's see what I'm at. You look like, oh man, come on now. Y'all see, y'all forgetting, Akon looks like me, okay? He looks like me. Whenever you overheard, I don't look like them. They look like me. They just happen to be celebrities. They look like me. I'm the big brother. So Crawford looks like me. Joshua Cotty looks like me. Akon looks like me. Why You Always Lying looks like me. Okay, so Ah, man, y'all silly, man. I really feel like Red gonna get rich one day. Hey, man, you know, money comes and goes, bro. I don't, you know, if it happens, it happens. I would appreciate, you know, I appreciate y'all giving me the views y'all give me already, man. So, if I got rich off YouTube, be nice. You know, if I ever get rich, I don't know if it'll be off YouTube, but it'll be off some business that I started. I'm doing all right now. I'm not rich or anything, but I'm doing all right. So, well, I'm off to a good start. You know, you feel me? Alvarez, majority of people say Crawford will easily win. Manny, by the way, I don't not agree. Crawford win easy. Manny is a good counter puncher. Manny will force Crawford to attack. Manny win unanimous decision. I can see that happening too, right? I can see Pacquiao pressuring him with speed and that power, keeping Crawford at bay, and Pacquiao winning on points, you know, by flurrying a lot, and Crawford being real hesitant to throw a punch. Andrea says, how about Sugar Ray, Red? Sugar Ray Leonard. Yeah, I like Sugar Ray. You talking about Leonard or Robinson? Sugar Ray Robinson or Leonard? Elaborate a little bit more. But as far as Ray, you know, he made me a fan of hand speed. So, you know, I will say that. I know a lot of people say that Sugar Ray's some people say his record is tainted because he was on cocaine. I don't know if a lot of people know that, but he was on cocaine real bad. So he did a few of his fights while he was doped up. So that's actually a performance enhancer. So you know, personally, I would say some of his career is a little bit tainted because cocaine is a performance enhancer. It will make you go faster and do things that you normally wouldn't do. So, you know, I like Ray Leonard. No shade toward him. He had great hand speeds. One of the fastest fighters ever. But he was on cocaine for some of them fights. So, I personally put a little asterisk next to Ray Leonard. Because of the cocaine use. So if you're talking about Ray Leonard, as far as Ray Robinson, I haven't seen a lot of his fights because you can't really find a lot of his fights. You know, most of the footage that you can find is real grainy and hard to watch. So I can't really elaborate on Ray Robinson. We can only go off what history says when it comes to Ray Robinson. But I've actually saw Ray Leonard fight. So and actually saw him fight live before he retired. Not live in person, but live on TV. So, PAC, on those great fighters you mentioned, who's your fave or top three? You know, that's an interesting question because at one point it was Bernard Hopkins. He was my favorite fighter. He was the guy I was watching the most. But like I said, Hopkins actually introduced me to Barrera, and then Barrera introduced me to Morales. So at that time, I was kind of split. You know, it was between Barrera and Morales because they were at the same weight class. I didn't want to go against either one of them, but I did lean more toward Barrera than Morales. If they fought each other, I would cheer for Barrera, even though I didn't care who won. I would cheer for Barrera though. So I would say out of all three of those, of course, now it's gonna be Manny Pacquiao and Muhammad Ali. Always, you know, they're always gonna share in the number one spot. But out of those three guys, I would say Manny Pacquiao number one. And I hate to say it, but I put Barrera number 2 and Hopkins number 3. Because Hopkins actually brought me to Barrera, but I just found Barrera to be, I just like watching him more than I like watching Hopkins for some reason. I think it was Hopkins' defensive style, but that's kind of what brought me to Hopkins was his defensive style and the whole executioner gimmick that he had at the time, which is, he's one of the smartest boxers. Because boxers who are good, but they're good with a gimmick, that they're sellable. He was a very sellable fighter. And a lot of his fights were on regular TV back then. Some of his fights were on Friday night fights. You know, I saw a lot of those Friday night fights when they were on USA. And I can't remember what the show was called when it was on USA. But, you know, ESPN had Friday night fights too. So I watched a lot of those fights on ESPN. And that some of them used to be on USA. And what used to be, what was that? Turner Network. TAN or something. I forgot what it was called. But they used to have fights on there sometimes too. But yeah, I guess number one would be Pacquiao. Then you had to put Barrera. Then, of course, Bernard Hopkins out of those three. And then, you know, Morales would be a close fourth. I hate to put it like that, but you know, as far as you know, I watched more Barrera fights, I think, than I watched Hopkins fights. Shorin Reyes, what's good with you, bro? Appreciate you for stopping by. Mikey Garcia is not a legacy fight prospect or a title fight with why Mikey? Why not fight you guys for a WBA belt if they cancel Crawford? Hey man, I'm saying the same thing you saying, Reyes. Man, I agree with you. I actually feel like this whole Crawford conversation, Mikey conversation, just kind of like hot smoke, man. It's something that maybe Mikey made up, you know, just to put his name out there, because I'm with you 100%. You guys would be way more sellable because of that title being in there, and why not go after you guys instead of Mikey? I don't get the whole Mikey talk, so I really don't believe it, but it could be true, but I really don't believe it. Man, we got 26 people in the chat. Please Pacquiao the like button for me, man, before I get out of here. I'm going to finish these comments up. It's been 2 hours, and I'm going to get on out of here, man. Got some stuff to take care of. Getting a little hungry. Got to put this thing up before I break it so I can take it back. I can take it back and trade it out. But definitely, hopefully tomorrow when I come on, y'all get to see the other one that I went and got, man. If you're in Louisville, go check out Johnny, man. He's pretty cool. He's a cool guy. He gave me a deal on this, but it's not what I want, so I'm gonna take it back and get something else. But he's a cool dude, man. Definitely go check him out if you ever in Louisville. He showed me some dope stuff today. Showed me some $30,000 Rolexes. Oh my God. He let me put on a $16,000 gold chain. Now people, when y'all be watching these rappers and stuff, and they be telling y'all they stuff is this, that, and the third, believe me, half of these dudes ain't got real jewelry on. When you see jewelry in your local neighborhood, most of these guys ain't got real jewelry on. He showed me a chain that was smaller than this as far as size that cost $10,000. It's 100% gold and it weighs less than this. 100% gold, and it was crazy. But the $16,000 chain he showed me was like this, like big dookie rope about this. It was ridiculous. Then he showed me this 30 grand Rolex that the face is made out of diamonds. He was gonna let me put it on, but I'm like, dude, I'm not putting that on. If I break it, I'm not about to put that on and then it fall off my wrist. No, thank you. But it was ridiculous, man. So go check him out, man. If you ever in Louisville, got some dope pieces, man. Dope pieces. I plan on doing some business with him, a whole lot more business with him when my money gets completely right. Let's move on, man, so I can get out of here. Bond Q, too much sugar is bad for your blood. Completely agree, man. You know, I don't know how Sugar Ray got caught up like that. To be honest with you, I gotta go back and watch his story to figure out why he even went down that road or how he even got on that stuff. But definitely, I take a little bit away from Sugar Ray Leonard just because of the whole cocaine, and it is a performance enhancer. So it is what it is. I like your English accent, man. The way you talk seems like a sexy female kid, and when you laugh, you're like a twisted rapper. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that, bro. I did used to rap some years ago, so I guess that's a compliment. But yeah, I tried rap a little while ago, man. It was a while ago. But I did a little rap, man. You know, y'all heard my homie. He was real good, bro. But unfortunately, you know, his life got cut short. So he didn't get to reach his full potential, man. It kind of turned, I guess, everybody who was with him, who was trying to rap, away from rap. So everybody pursued something else other than rap. So it is what it is. I got some songs out there though, man. Y'all look through my channel, y'all might find some of my. Go back and watch some of my earlier videos. Y'all might find some of my old music on there somewhere. By the #1 boxing trainer, Tyson is Cus D'Amato. Yeah, you're right about that. That's what I was trying to remember. Cus D'Amato. I don't know why I couldn't remember his name. Cus D'Amato is good teacher, not just boxing, but in personal life for Tyson. Yeah, I think that, you know, if Cus D'Amato maybe would have survived 2 years, maybe 1 or 2 more years, we would have had a totally different Mike Tyson. I don't think we would have had the same Mike Tyson that we end up getting. I think Mike Tyson if he would have got even 1 more year with Cus D'Amato, he would have got more time to mature, and you know, Cus D'Amato could have maybe got him a little more advanced as far as dealing with his finances and not blowing his money. Made him a little smarter, you know. He definitely wouldn't have got around Robin Givens and that whole situation. So, you know, can't live in the past, but he definitely, if Cus D'Amato was there, he definitely would have been a completely different fighter. True Red, his own boss, Crawford looked like him, not the other way around. Red the A-side. Straight up, boy. Get cute. We the A-side over here, man. Crawford look like me, man. Forget that. We the A-side. I appreciate that, bro. Yeah, we the A-side over here, son. Y'all silly, man. Let me see. I done lost myself. Alright, where am I at? Okay, I see. Fantasy fight between Shane Porter versus Shane Mosley. I think you meant Shane Porter versus Shane Mosley. That would be an awesome fight. Oh man. I would have Mosley winning that one though. I think Mosley has way more skill as far as technical boxing than Shane Porter. But I think Porter will bring the fight to him for as long as it lasts. But I think Mosley would probably beat him. He might not knock him out, but I think Mosley would edge him out. He was a real quick fighter. Pacquiao made him look average, but he was a real quick fighter. I didn't know that. Virgil. Byron QQ. Bob Arum was his worst nightmare is 2 Crawford side beat by side. Is 2 Crawford side by, is 2, I guess you meant 2 Terence Crawford side by side. He's silly. Reyes is the Crawford fight already canceled? Mikey Garcia fight is not a legacy fight. You guys is a better fight, a title bout. I completely agree with you. I don't know. Nobody's saying none of this is official. Nothing's official yet. The Crawford fight was never official. The Mikey fight's not official. Ryan or Mikey Garcia, not official. The McGregor fight was never official. It's all just been negotiation talk. So he could very possibly be in negotiation with Mikey Garcia, but that doesn't mean that that's going to be the fight we're going to get. He could have very well been in conversations with Terence Crawford. Doesn't mean that's the fight we're going to get. I agree, you guys is an excellent fight if you're not going to get the Crawford or the Spence fight. But it's all up to Pacquiao, man. We don't know where his mind is at or where he's going with this. I'm not sure why all these low-tier fighters keep coming out of nowhere saying they're fighting Pacquiao next. But, hey, it is what it is. Obviously, he's trying to negotiate with everybody to find the best fit. All right, let me finish up these questions. I'm going to get on out of here. PAC, watch Prince Hassim. His ring entrance probably the best. And I've seen Nassim before. I like Nassim. Don't get me wrong. Prince Nassim. What's his name? Diego Corrales. I liked all those guys. I like Corrales. I like Nassim. I liked Pretty Boy Floyd back in the day. I watched all those guys, but Floyd changed. Naseem, he retired. Corrales unfortunately passed away. So, I actually would have Diego Corrales in there if he didn't pass away, but his career got cut short. So, I'll give him honorable mention though. I was really into Diego Corrales. I think I would actually have been more into Corrales if he didn't pass away, but he did pass away. So, but Diego Corrales, man, one of the best fighters ever. Take nothing away. He actually is one of the people who made me a boxing fan. So I forgot about Diego Corrales personally too. So I got to give a mention to Diego Corrales. Extraordinary fighter. Yeah, Naseem was dope. He was dope. His ring inches was dope. He did a lot of cold things in the ring. But you want to talk about a fighter, talk about Diego Corrales. Very, very dope fighter, man. Wish he didn't lose his life. I think he actually could have beat Floyd, I feel like. I think Floyd did beat him when they fought, but I think if he got a rematch, he would have beat Floyd. Leo, all of them, rumor PAC is still quiet, even neighbors can't ask yet. Yeah, definitely, it's all rumors, man. It's all rumors right now, man. But I'm hoping we hear something soon. I'm just sick of all these rumors coming out, man. I just want to hear some official news from Pacquiao, Team Pacquiao, so he can go ahead and put all these rumors to bed. Redwood 360 pimp slap Naseem. I don't know about that one, man. Naseem was a bad man back in the day. He was a bad man. Ryan Garcia versus Mikey Garcia. Who wins? Mikey Garcia destroys Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia is not proven anywhere. Mikey Garcia is a champion, a former champion, and held all the belts, I believe. So I would definitely go with Mikey Garcia in that fight. In my opinion, nobody really talked Manny counterpunch and defense. By the way, the number one success for Manny, 42 years old, is blinding speed, good counterpunch, and good defense. Manny is smart. I agree with you, man. I think Manny's a dope fighter, man. I think he can bring all that to the table if he gets that fight. We just got to wait and see, man. I'm getting impatient, though. I ain't going to lie to you. Ronald Rio, Manny versus Canelo. It could happen. If I would rather see Manny versus Canelo or Triple G than Mikey Garcia. I think the whole world would much rather see that than Mikey Garcia. Appreciate that comment, Ronald Rio. Mac D, Mikey is not a walk in the park fight for Manny. The only problem with the Mikey fight to me, and I agree with you if this was a year ago, but Mikey Garcia been sitting around eating tacos, man, for the last year, and then ballooned up to 180. So even if they do fight, let's say this fight does happen and he do fight Mikey Garcia next, he's going to get a weight drain to Mikey. So it's not going to be a good fight either way it goes. I like PAC versus Canelo too. I think that's an awesome fight. It's just not going to happen, man. The weight difference is it's almost like the Mikey Garcia fight. I can't believe it because Mikey Garcia just said himself 2 weeks ago that he weighed 180 pounds, and that it would be too much for him to drop that weight. So I'm surprised he's even talking this fight. So even if we do get this fight, he's gonna be weight drained. He's not gonna put up a good fight. He's probably gonna get knocked out. Like I said, the only reason Pacquiao would take this is for a quick knockout and to pad his stats, saying that he beat another former champion. But the you guys fight is a way better fight. I like NL. Why do you think is better boxer? Who do you think is better boxer? Julio, Cesar Chavez, or Mayweather? Didn't Chavez beat Mayweather? Didn't he technically beat Mayweather? I think he's the guy who actually people say beat Mayweather. So I would say Chavez. But a lot of people probably disagree. Manny probably saving Crawford for his last fight. I feel like the Spence fight would be a better last fight because the Crawford fight, I don't think would sell as well as the Spence fight. But you could be right, man. Perhaps he gets the Spence fight made a little easier and he if he beats Spence, he can just move on and fight Crawford. Hopefully, that's what we get. Either version of that, I would be happy with. Pacquiao Crawford, Pacquiao Spence, or Pacquiao you guys. I would be happy with a consolation prize of Pacquiao Porter if none of that can be made. Or I would be really happy if he fought Triple G if he couldn't get any of those other fights, personally. But I know that definitely the Canelo fight ain't going to happen. The weights are just way too far off. Chavez went from 80-0 for 80-0 against Mayweather 50-0. Who was the guy that they say that beat Mayweather? What is his name? I thought it was, I don't know. I can't remember his name, but let me know if y'all remember who's the guy they say that beat Mayweather. What if Mike Tyson married Clarissa Shields? Would they be the most powerful couple in boxing? Definitely would be the scariest looking couple you have ever seen. But Mike Tyson got a dope wife though. Don't get it twisted. Mike Tyson's crazy, but Mike Tyson pulls bad bees all day long. Has been doing it since the 80s, man. Mike Tyson got a dope. He don't need no Clarissa Shields. He got a dope wife. Some people say Edwin Valero would kill Pac-Man. What do you think about that fight? Haven't seen him fight, man. You know, there's a lot of new guys out here I just haven't had a chance to catch yet. So I've heard his name, but I haven't seen him fight yet, man. Gotta be honest with you. Ronaldo Real, Manny is the best boxer and best person, so humble person. I agree with you there. Orlito, and so Muhammad Ali. I completely agree with that, bro. In my opinion, if Manny fight you guys, he knock out you guys round 4. Manny boxing techniques, bad boxing technique to you guys. I think it would be an interesting fight. 4-round knockout, I don't know, man. You guys is a big guy. He might be able to put, I mean, based off what he did to Thurman, he has enough power to knock him down. But out, I'm not sure. You guys is a big guy, man. And he's a good welterweight, and he's been in some wars, so he can take a punch. I think it would be a good fight. I do see Pacquiao beating him. I don't know about a 4th-round knockout, though. I think it would be a great fight, though. If you don't know Charlie Zelenoff, look at YouTube, Charlie Z versus Wilder, Charlie Z versus Floyd Sr., you will realize that Charlie Z is the real GOAT in boxing. I'm going to check that out, man. Appreciate that, Boar the Gore. Pac Castillo beat Mayweather. Okay, I always get those two names mixed up. Julio Chavez and Castillo. I don't know why. So Castillo is the one who actually beat Mayweather. Castillo and Medina beat Floyd. I don't know about the Medina fight. I think I watched that fight. But I do know, in the Castillo fight, I watched some of it. I just never watched it all the way through. But everybody says Castillo beat him. I always get him mixed up with Chavez for some reason, though. Castellino, you know, I don't know why they never did a rematch. I guess maybe Floyd felt like he lost that fight too. Even Floyd Sr. was saying Pacquiao was winning the Maypac fight. So I mean, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. I think Mayweather really should have one, or maybe even 2 losses, maybe even 3 losses on his record. If you count the Medina fight, definitely the Pacquiao and the Castillo fight. Definitely. Hot Rod. What's good with you, Hot Rod? I ain't seen you in a minute. What's good with you? Castillo beat Mayweather in the first fight. Did they have a rematch? Because I don't remember nobody talking about the rematch. Why do you say in the first fight? Mayweather has 8 losses in his amateur boxing career. I do know he has losses in the amateurs, but not in the professionals. Jose Luis Castillo almost beat Mayweather. I think he won that fight based off what I saw, because I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched the pivotal points in the fight, and I feel like he won based off the pivotal points in the fight. But everybody has their own opinion. You're the best, bro. Appreciate you. Hot Rod says, "What's up, Red? Aloha from Hawaii. You know I know where you at, fam. He's a long time subscriber. They've been around for a long time. They did a rematch. Floyd won. Okay, so people say he lost the first one, and they did a rematch, and I guess people think he dominated him in the second fight. Because I don't remember anybody talking about the second fight. I always remember everybody saying Castillo beat him or should have got the nod in the first fight. Orleo says, good night, man. All right, yeah, I'm about to get out of here, bro. I appreciate that. Do you agree Lomachenko afraid of Manny? Lomachenko never going to fight Manny. I think it would have been a good fight if it could have got made before Loma got beat. I think it would have been a lot of fanfare around that fight. It would have did real big pay-per-view numbers. I'm not sure about it now, though. Probably a little too late for it to happen now. Freud on steroids. Alright, man. I think my Q is going to be the last comment we got of the night, man. We've been on for 2 hours, 16 minutes. We got 26 people in here right now, man. Cause I know we got one person who ain't hit the like button. Somebody give me to the 30th like, man. I'm going to get ready to get out of here, man. I'm going to blast a little music before I end the stream. Let y'all jam after that. But give me the 30 likes, man, before we get out of here. It's Floyd Mayweather bootleg. His last 2 victories are definitely bootleg. They definitely wasn't, in my mind, official boxing victories. I don't think he deserved the 50-0 legacy off of those last 2 fights. The Berto fight, and then I think he got the 50th fight on it was either McGregor or Khabib. I didn't watch either one of them, so I can't really remember or recall. But definitely he's a bootleg in that regards. Man, y'all got me to 30 likes, man. I appreciate that. Appreciate y'all giving me the 30, man. We definitely be back on here tomorrow. Yeah, I'll be back, man. I ain't going nowhere. I just had to take a little time off. Definitely will be back. Can't wait to see you guys again. Have another conversation with y'all. Virgil, nice chatting, Red. Appreciate that, man. Hopefully we got some good news tomorrow. Hopefully all this chatter will break tomorrow. Or maybe they'll send Mikey Garcia a cease and desist letter like they did Ryan Garcia tomorrow. And we can at least get the Mikey Garcia talk out of the way and find out if he's still negotiating with Terence Crawford and or Earl Spence Jr. So I'm hoping that's the case, man, and not Mikey. What is your top 3 modern boxing trainer? I would say Roach. God, and I can't remember his name. I don't know why I can't. Lennox Lewis's trainer. I can't remember his name. I would say Roach, Lennox Lewis's trainer who passed away, and Mark Breland, because Mark Breland was such a nice guy to me. I just throw him in there because he was such a nice guy to me. I had a couple of conversations with him on Facebook. He actually liked a couple of my videos about a year and a half ago. So I would say Roach, Emmanuel Stewart. I don't know why I can't remember his name. Roach, Emmanuel Stewart, and then Mark Breland. I only give Mark Breland 3rd place. I really would put Customato in there at 3rd, but I give it to Mark Breland because I actually got to conversate with Mark Breland a couple of times, so he gets a consolation prize of 3rd place. So run with that. Boy the Gore, if you have a chance to face swap for $1 million for Jeff Mayweather, we already look alike, so why would we have to face swap? We can bank account swap. I'm pretty sure he got way more money than I got. Why would we have to? We already look alike, though. Take care, Crawford. Mikey doesn't look fat in his latest interview. I haven't seen it, man. I gotta go check it out. Like I said, I haven't really. Today's the first day of me really getting back into it, man, to the full swing. So I'm a little bit behind, but definitely gotta check it out. He might not look fat, but he definitely said he was 180, man. He might be working hard though, but it's not good if he's dropped all that weight that fast, because, like I said, he's gonna come in weight drained, and it's not gonna be a good fight anyway. I don't think it's a good fight even if he's not weight drained, but if he comes in weight drained, it makes it an even worse fight. That's the Best Boxing Conversation is on Red's channel. The Best Boxing Conversation. I appreciate that, NL, man. Appreciate that. Hopefully tomorrow we'll get more people in the chat. Y'all got me to 30 likes, so definitely when we come back tomorrow, we should get more people in the chat and have an even deeper conversation, man. If y'all ain't got nothing else to say, I think I'm going to get ready to get out of here. If you got anything else to say, go ahead and drop it in the chat right now, man. Bond Q Red, the Best Boxing channel. I appreciate that, fam. Hopefully we're going to make it better, man. It ain't going to do nothing but get better, man. Hopefully we can get Caps back on here, and we can get some of the subscribers to, come on, man. Let's have a back and forth. Maybe we'll get another boxing channel to come in and converse. Caps had a few other people he was trying to get involved and trying to have a conversation. But I've been so busy, man. I haven't even been hollering at Caps, man, to be honest. So I gotta get back into the full swing of things here. Just give me a little time. We'll be back on point. I really want exhibition boxing fight Roach versus Atlas. Man, make it happen, man. Let's put up the 200. If we can get everybody to donate 20 and we put the 200 up, I think we can make that fight happen. If you told Crawford you was his brother, he would believe. Listen, if I told, and I was just, hey man, I was like, man, hey man, let me hold one of them cars. Man, hold one of them keys, get the keys to the Lambo, big bro. He can be the big brother. At that point, he could be the A-side if he gonna let me drive his Lambo or whatever. I don't know what type of cars Crawford got. He don't seem like a Lambo kind of guy though. He seemed more like a F250 type of guy with some big old dirt bike rims on the bottom of that thing. He don't seem like but he might be a Lamborghini guy. I don't think I've ever seen any of Terence Crawford's personal vehicles. I've seen some of Earl Spencer's and Pacquiao and Mayweather's vehicles, Broner's vehicles he used to have, but I ain't never seen none of Crawford's cars, man. I seen Teofimo got a nice truck, man. He got a nice truck. I seen some of Mikey got some nice cars, man. Mikey got some high-end cars. People think Mikey broke. Mikey ain't broke at all. Mikey got big money. I joke about Mikey. He's a good fighter, and he made a lot of money in his boxing career. But I just don't feel like he's on Pacquiao's level, to be honest with you. With that being said, man, y'all can jam out, man. If anybody ain't hit the like button for me, go ahead and do that, man. Drop your name in the chat. And I'm about to get out of here, man. I'll eat something, man. It's good hollering at y'all. I see y'all tomorrow.
Louisville, home of the best scrapper. Also, home of the best rapper. Flow dapper, here's another chapter. Ride through, attack you, ride away your laughter. This is what I'm after, blowing on that rapper. Purple keep a bunch to blow. I don't serve it though, murder flow. If it goes down, I'm the first to know. Y'all niggas late, like the Coney show. Overdose, overload, sharp flow, leave him with the open throat. Lewis Keys, cool as Nova Scotia snow. Puff a blunt, poke a hole, nigga, you supposed to know. Lewis Keys, blowing blunts on the open road. Fuck a cop, fuck a speed limit, drive overdose. Keep a bad bitch, hips wide like Oprah's nose. And you know that I'm a fool, my freestyle's wet, I'm floating in the pool. You should pay your tuition, you're going to my school. Principal keys, you niggas getting held back. Fuck them little sacks, you can have your bread back. No refund, well here the G's come. Hit your ass up, leave you with your fucking head crack.
Louisville, Kentucky, 502. Louisville, Kentucky, 502. Louisville, Kentucky, 502. Louisville, Kentucky, 502. Louisville, Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky, 502. Louisville, Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky, 502.
Louisville, Kentucky, 502. That's where I'm from, player, how about you? I'm from the city where the hate is familiar. I'm from the city where the haters will kill ya. I'm from the city where they like to gamble. Dice game, get robbed, niggas a scramble. Head for the hills, nigga duck and dive. No bullshit, no shuck and jive. I know a lot of guys got shot and died. A lot of good guys didn't see 25. Recognize it's a blessing being alive. Heading to the park, I'm on the passenger side. Like
Louisville, Kentucky, 502. Louisville, Kentucky, 502.
Every night's game 7. We ballin' like the playoff. We ballin' like the playoff. We ballin' like game 7. Game 7. Every day the Super Bowl. Every night's game 7. We ballin' like the playoff.